are live once again. It's been a while. We've not done a live for, I don't even know, more than a month, that's for sure. And I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be with you today. Whether you are cooking, whether you are not cooking, it's still great to see you here tonight. And if you're following the recipe, that's great. It's probably going to be complicated because I didn't put any of the ingredients that I'm going to be using today. But if you're following the video, you can probably cook after that. So that's still fine, I guess. How you guys doing today? I hope you're having a great time because I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I was feeling a bit sick the other day, but now I'm in a better state. I'm still probably, my voice is probably all over the place, but that's fine. We can still kind of like communicate, which is okay. Um, Let me know into the stream how you guys doing today and if you are ready for this recipe. So we are doing salmon teriyaki with some egg noodles. Bear in mind that this is not going to be probably the classic salmon teriyaki, because as always, I'm going to put all my thoughts and my thinking into this recipe, and probably it's going to turn out slightly different than the recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be delicious, and I really hope that you're going to enjoy it. We are live both on Facebook and YouTube, so whether you want to watch us on YouTube or on Facebook, probably on YouTube is going to be slightly better quality, so I would suggest to go on YouTube and hop in there and see if it's looking any better. Let me know if you hear me properly, because I did have some issues earlier on with the audio levels, but I believe and I hope that's everything okay now, and we are ready for today's recipe, which I see that we have a few people in here. Just to give you a heads up of what's going on, you've probably seen the title, but we're making salmon teriyaki with egg noodles, and we have a few vegetables here just to kind of like bring this to a bit better level, because we're not going to use just the noodles and the sauce. I'm making my own teriyaki sauce, which probably is not a teriyaki, but that's fine. Stay with me, and I'm going to present the ingredients. So we've got the salmon, obviously 2 fillets of salmon, nothing really amazing from this point of view. We've got the egg noodles. I will use 2 per portion. It's probably a bit ambitious considering that we've got quite a few vegetables, but that's fine. If we end up with a bit more, that's not a problem. We're gonna have some more tomorrow. But in theory, what we're making here, it should be for 2 portions or maybe a bit more, but we'll see. So salmon, noodles. For the sauce, I'm gonna be using a combination of honey, soy sauce, we've got garlic, we've got ginger, and also I'm going to be adding some sesame seeds later on, and we might add some spring onions, although we'll find out. This is not really that important. Sweet chili sauce, which is probably something a bit unusual that I'm using for this recipe, but it's sweet in combination with the soy sauce. I think it works perfectly. Just bear in mind that you might need to add slightly less honey, so that's probably the part that's not really making it teriyaki, because in combination with sweet chili is kind of turning into something else, but that's fine. Trust me, this is going to work really well. Now I want to start with the sauce, which is really basic. You don't really need to do much. All you need is a saucepan on the heat. Let me get the smaller one. And if you're making a bit more, that's fine, because we can use it in future recipes, so that's not that big of a deal. You can make a bit more, and that's gonna do the job. Soy sauce, I got here a bottle that it's got probably another like 30 milliliters of soy sauce. I'm just gonna get it all in. So the way I do I don't really have a recipe, as probably many other videos on my channel. I don't really follow a certain recipe, but the way I work when it comes to teriyaki, I add the soy sauce, basically the amount that you want, how much sauce you want to make, basically, because this is more or less the base of your sauce. So start with the soy sauce, and after that you add the sweet part. When it comes to the sweet part, you add enough till you feel like, oh, this should be kind of okay. It's got the right balance between sweet and sour. So salty, sorry, not sour, because this is the salty part. So sweet and salty. So that's when you kind of stop adding any more honey, or whether you use brown sugar. There are recipes that are telling you to use brown sugar. Our recipes with mirin. I think mirin is probably is kind of like the classic that needs to be added. I don't have mirin, don't worry, we can survive without it. I can guarantee you we'll be fine. Now, let's get the rest of the soy sauce in there. So I'm gonna add another like half bottle. It's probably gonna be a bit too much, but that's fine. We can use it for future recipes. For what I need, it's probably gonna be a bit too much because I don't only need 2 portions. But considering that I'm gonna put it on the salmon, and when I'm tossing the noodles, that's probably gonna work well. It's not gonna be that much left. So another half of this. So this is 150 ml altogether. So 150 ml, it's this. So let's say I put a bit more than half, probably is about 18 here, and with another 30 on from the other bottle, probably 110, 100, something like that. As I said, no, this is the part that you need to worry about. It's more when you're adding the honey, because that's when honey, sugar, whether it's brown, whether it's white, that's a different story. Or if you're adding sweet chili, obviously you're gonna reduce the amount of sugar. Now, let's get this on. Bring it to the boil. Meanwhile, we're gonna peel some garlic and some ginger. So that's what I need here for this recipe. And I'm trying to do equal quantities. This is kind of a bet. I'll just show you what's going on here. This ginger, it's kind of old, to be honest. It's been in my fridge for a while, so I need to probably remove most of the one I just chopped. But I will be probably using slightly less ginger than the garlic, but more or less equal quantities. So that much ginger in combination with about 4 cloves of garlic, I think we're getting there. I think it's just the right amount. Bear in mind that I'm a bit more towards garlic when it comes to taste than towards ginger, or I actually like garlic probably a bit more than ginger. I like them both, but I think the garlic, I don't know. Maybe because I'm Romanian, I don't even know. I also have the oven on, so I turn on the oven because I want to keep it simple. I don't want to do any frying in the pan. I want to get the salmon into the tray, straight into the oven, easy. Okay, let's get this filled and then we'll see what we got. All right then, we've got a few people here. That's great. So we've got a few people here. First, we've got yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, this is my colleague. So exactly, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So yeah, pajama style cooking. And then we have Kuzmin here. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you into the chat. What's cooking? Well, we are making some teriyaki style salmon. We'll see what we're gonna end up with. So now that it starts coming to the boil, I'm gonna add honey. I'm gonna go in with about 1 tablespoon for now, because the rest I wanna add sweet chili. Probably about the same amount. And I'll give you a bit of time to reduce slowly and I'll taste you later on. But we'll see, from now on, I'm not gonna add any more honey. All I'm gonna do from now is gonna be sweet chili. The good part about this is not that it's just sweet, it's got obviously the chili part. And on top of that, what I like about it is that I don't really need to add any more starch, because this being quite thick and it's got that starch into it, we should be fine. We don't even need to go with like any starch, like cornstarch or anything like that. And even if it's slightly thinner, I'm okay with that. I'm actually fine being thinner. I don't really want it to be as a glaze. So if it's thinner, that's okay. As long as we got the flavor in there, we should be good. Love the trousers. Yeah, you see, I told you. Yeah, I'm happy that people actually notice. Very good, very good. Well, this is homemade all the way, from trousers to cooking. So it's got to be. Perfect, perfect. As mentioned at the beginning, guys, we are both live on Facebook and on YouTube, and hopefully you can hear me properly, you can see me properly. I mean, I hope so. If there are any issues, obviously let me know in the chat. If you actually can, let me know in the chat if there are issues, but if they're not, then happy days. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave these reduce slowly. And now I wanna grate this. Where is my grater? Okay, my grater here. Perfect. So I'm gonna get first the ginger. And I'm only gonna go first with 3 cloves of garlic because I feel like I'm a bit too ambitious with 4, but we'll find out. If you're feeling lazy, by the way, you could buy the teriyaki sauce, that's fine. And as I said, this is not necessarily, well, it's definitely not the classic recipe that you probably used to, but it's gonna do the job. I can guarantee you it's gonna be amazing. So, straight in with the ginger. Starts smelling good already because the ginger, as soon as it kind of like gets in combination with soy sauce, I feel like that they just work so well together. Garlic as well, everything you need. And what I'm gonna do, I'm also probably gonna add a touch of lemon in there or lime. It all depends what you want, but I think one of these will really help. Okay, so we're only doing 3 cloves of garlic for now, and we'll leave the other one as a backup. We might add it, we might not. We'll taste, because that's the important thing. So add the soy sauce. I think that's probably the secret, or although it's not really a secret. I think you just have to kind of like taste and see how you feel about it. So add first the soy sauce. Once you added the soy sauce, so it's going in here. Once you added the soy sauce, you go in with the honey or with whatever sweet ingredient you're using, till to the point that you feel is the right balance. I think I don't think it's right or wrong. I think you just need to taste for yourself and see what basically works for you. Well, exactly, because it's an amazing grater. It's from Microplane. It's a really good brand, so I really actually I highly recommend it. It's probably on the pricier side. I have this for a good while and it's really, really good. It's no more than 20 quid, I would say, and it's really worth it. I would say that's definitely something that's worth having. If you know what I mean. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So this is the sauce. Now what I want to take, obviously this flavor will intensify because the more it reduces, the better, well, the stronger the flavor it gets. I want to probably reduce it to half, no more than that. You could go more than that and you turn it into a glaze, but it's not exactly what I need today. I want to be, it's pretty salty to be honest with you. You can't really feel that much sweetness in there, so we're gonna add some more and a bit of honey as well. Because I actually thought that we are in a good place with it, but it feels like 1 more tablespoon of honey and perfect. We'll see. We can also add a touch of water. I've seen recipes that do that. We'll see how it goes. We might add a touch of water later on, but for now, I want to reduce it slowly, give it a good stir and see how it looks like. Got 8 people in the stream. I'm really grateful to have you here, guys. And if you're late into the chat, even if you're not cooking, it's nice to see you here, hanging around. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer. Obviously, try to keep you on the topic. We can talk about the trousers as well. The guys noticed that. Really good, really good. I'm happy to see that I'm making the difference here, not just with the cooking, but with the way I'm dressing. Almost there. I think it's gonna need just a touch more sweetness. This soy sauce is really, really strong and it's pretty salty to be honest with you. I might add a touch of water as I said earlier, but for now, we'll keep it like this. I'm not gonna add the garlic. We'll keep it here. If we'll add it later, that's a different story. Now what I wanna do, I wanna get the water. So water is gonna be for the noodles. I'm gonna put it on the other induction. So in there, even if it starts boiling, when it gets to that point, I'm gonna turn it down so it can stay there, be ready for the time when we have the salmon. So water will go on the heat. Just make sure that you add enough water whenever you're cooking pasta, obviously noodles, but pasta in general. Salt into the water, although that's salty, salt into the water all the time, really important. And enough water enough water to have enough space for the pasta to be fully submerged into the water. Now, let's get ready the vegetables for this recipe. So we've got baby corn and we've got some sugar snaps. Perfect, this is nice and crunchy. All I'm doing, I'm cutting them in half, or it all depends, in three. You don't want to go really crazy because I still want to have that crunch once I cook them. I still want to have some of that crunch into the recipe. Let me show you what's going on. Actually, you could see all the way what's going on. For some reason, I thought that the other camera was active, but you can see all the time what I'm doing here. Now it's up to you, really. You could go in angle. You could literally go like this, or I like to have them in slightly longer in there. And depending on how big they are, either in 2 or 3, or you could literally leave them whole. But that's probably, if you leave them like that, you might need to blanch them slightly. Just drop them in boiling water. Okay, I'm actually happy with this. I see that it got slightly thicker. I'm not sure how much you can see. It got slightly thicker. I'm gonna add a touch of lemon juice. Okay, so that's my teriyaki right there. It didn't take long. All I'm gonna be adding are some sesame seeds later on, which I'm gonna toast them first. If you don't toast them, they taste kind of like bland. They don't really have much flavor. As soon as you toast them, you bring them to a whole new level. And I highly recommend, in general, whether you're using nuts, whether you're using seeds or stuff like that, they're really, really good. And well, they're much better when you toast them. Okay, so first vegetables done. Now moving on to the sweet corn. I'm only cutting them in half. These are kind of tiny. If you have bigger ones, maybe cut them in 4. It's not really a rule. It's just more of a like trying to get them all cooking in the same time. Okay, let's change the view. I tell you what, I really miss this. It's a pain to put all these together, especially when I move them in different locations, when I need to do videos in other parts. But after a couple of hours, it's really, really good, and it feels great being here with you guys. Okay, second set of vegetables are there, so we've got that ready too. Now I'm gonna get some onion. Actually, all these parts, don't want to waste them, so they're going straight in there. So pepper, maybe half pepper. I'm not gonna go with more than that. I'll just put it here for now. Just remove the white part. We don't need it. It's kind of bitter as well, so you want to remove that out. And then julienne will do the job. Okay, maybe a bit more pepper. I feel like I love peppers, yeah. Whether they're on pizza or in stir fries, are really, really good. So we're gonna add a touch more pepper. And it's good if you, by the way, when it comes to these kind of recipes, you don't necessarily have to follow all these ingredients I'm using today. You can go crazy with whatever the ingredients you like, whatever you have available. Onion, can be, I've got actually onion here, I've got spring onion, but it can be something else. If you have something else available, whether you want to add spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, stuff like that. I know it sounds kind of weird, but pretty much everything works. Okay, onion. I'm probably going to use only like half onion, because I've got spring onion too, so it should be fine. You could go with more. Trust me, once it's cooked, you don't really feel much, especially being red. The red onion is it's slightly milder, so I don't really see a problem adding more onion. Yeah, just slice it, nothing complicated. It's gonna go in the same time with the peppers, so nothing to worry about from this point of view. Now, what I want to do is get first the vegetables ready and get pretty much the salmon in the same time into the oven. So you could get the vegetable first, so you could get the vegetable first, and if you're not confident enough to get them done in the same time, which we'll do that actually. We'll go step by step, because as soon as we get with more things involved, people might get confused with what's going on. Plus, we need to cook the noodles in the same time, so we will kind of like pace it into the way that in a way that will leave a bit more time in between. So now let's taste this as a final taste, see if we good, see if we need to adjust. We might need a bit more. We might need a bit more sweetness in here, because I tell you what, it was pretty strong when I tried it, and it's good. It's probably good the way it is for a marinade. I highly actually recommend having these basically brush over the salmon and give you a few hours, and only after that cook it is going to be perfect. But now we don't really have the time. We're going to speed up the process. I'm actually happy with this, but still a bit more honey. I tell you what, this soy sauce had a lot of salt in there, so probably another like quarter of tablespoon of honey in there. That's why I said I never really know how I exactly want it. I don't. That's why I don't really have a recipe. So taste it, see for yourself whether you feel it's a bit too salty, it's a bit too sweet. Combine the ingredients and find the balance. That's, I think, is the secret. And this is my mom in the house. I'm not gonna use all the. No, no, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, I'll explain the recipe after that. Perfect. Now this is almost boiling, so we'll give you a bit of a bit more time till it comes to the boil. And now what I want to do, I want to move on to the vegetables. I want to show you what's going on here. So let's get the vegetables. Veg oil, sesame oil could do. I don't have any sesame oil, but it's probably a good situation to use sesame oil. Actually, first, before doing the vegetables, let's get the sesame seeds. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do it later on, so I'm just gonna get the sesame seeds toasted quickly before we get the vegetables. And meanwhile, anyway, we don't really have the oven at the right temperature, so we'll have to wait a bit for that to get to the right temperature. The water is almost boiling, but it's not there just yet. I should have put a lid on, but oh well. Now, if you don't want to get the salmon into the oven, you could do it in a pan and just basically glaze your salmon into the pan. That's another option. We're gonna choose the lazy option today, so I'm gonna get it into a tray without doing much. I'm just gonna get into the tray. Let me get some baking paper so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the tray. But other than that, I want to keep it simple for you guys. You might benefit from doing it into the pan, because you can probably control it in a lot better way, and not just control it. You can probably glaze it better and maybe punch some of that flavor into the salmon in a lot better way. And we've got my mother-in-law, so we've got everybody we've got all Romania in the house, so that's good. That's good. We all here. That's perfect. So we're just gonna toast this. Just try to give them a bit of color. They smell better already. They kind of like that. When I in the packet, in a package, they are kind of that. But as soon as you get them in here, they taste, they feel better. All those oils, from the seeds, they kind of get released, and then the flavor gets so much better. I'm gonna combine a few of these into the sauce, and on top of that, what I'm gonna do at the end, we're gonna sprinkle a bit on top, nice crunchy, just keep them at the end, so you get a nice crispiness from this as well. How are you guys doing? I see that we've got 7 people, both on, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube, it doesn't really matter. I'm glad that I see you here. Actually, let me know. Let me know whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube. I'm actually kind of curious because I can't really see what's going on which side you are watching from. Okay, this is boiling. I'm just gonna put the lid on and leave it on low heat because I don't want to put the noodles just yet. I want to leave the noodles till last moment. So as you can see here, or if you can see, because it's kind of like hard probably to see, the color of the sesame seeds change, and it changed in a really nice way. So we'll give it just probably no more than a minute, and we'll take them off the heat. And I'm gonna add about half, a quarter, probably a quarter, it'll be enough, into the sauce. I'm gonna add this into the sauce. That should do. Still fine. I don't want to burn them because then I'm gonna ruin all the. So yeah, don't do these. Those you don't use your fingers when you're adding something hot into another pan. But still safe. We made it. So that's how it looks like. I mean, you can tell that it kind of looks already like the teriyaki sauce, you know it. So it's pretty thick. That's because obviously reducing it slightly, plus adding a bit of the sweet chili sauce. And the reason I've added also sweet chili sauce, I don't have fresh chilies, which is kind of a must in a situation like this when you're making a recipe like this, but I don't have any available, so we'll just survive with what we've got. We'll just use probably a bit of dry chili in there. I don't think, let me actually double check, but as far as I know, there's nothing here. Oh, actually I do have some chili. Oh, perfect, we do have some chili. I'll take that back. Anyway, this must have been here for a while, because I actually didn't even know that we've got it. So, chili here, perfect, we've got some chili. We saved the day. Also the reason why, as I said, it's got some starch in there, plus the flavor, it's not that bad. It's got that sweetness, it's got that light chili flavor, so I think it works really well. So, look at this. It's thick. Well, it's not the thickness that probably you used to, as a glaze, but I think it's thick enough, for what we need. Now, let's get the vegetables. So I need to remove these sesame seeds. Now they're not that hot, so we can just get rid of them. Put them into here. Let me give this a quick wash, and then we'll start to do the vegetables. With the vegetables, we are actually not that far now. The sauce is probably the biggest thing. So once you get that one right, the rest is pretty basic in my opinion. Okay, now let's get this nice and hot. Salmon goes into the tray. Although I've got the skin on, which has got some scales on it, that's fine. We're gonna remove that at the end. I'm pretty sure it's gonna come nicely off. Obviously, if you're looking to get nice crispy skin, if you cook it in the oven, you're not gonna get that. So you'll probably have to remove all the scales from the fillet and do it in the pan, nice and crispy. But we don't really do that today. We're doing it nice and lazy, pretty lazy to be honest with you, because I usually like cooking it in the pan. But this is a nice efficient way, especially when you need to cook multiple portions. So I got here a pastry brush, and what I want to do, I just want to brush this. So let me show you what's going on here. So I want to brush this salmon with this sauce. And what I'll do, I'll give you it probably needs about 10 to for 15 minutes, something like that. This probably after 10 minutes is good to already check because it might be ready. Around 10 minutes, I would say 200 degrees Celsius, you almost getting there. Probably need another further 2 minutes, but if you want it slightly pink, around that I think you should be good. Now halfway through, about 5 minutes, I want to get it out and brush it once again because I want to make sure that this sauce kind of gets into the flesh of the salmon. I'm also adding a touch of pepper here. Something that you could add to the sauce as well. I'm not saying that you couldn't, but it's okay. We'll add to the salmon, we'll add to the vegetables. You should be good. So this goes into the oven. We put the timer of 5 minutes or so. Let's get a timer. I always kind of forget. When I start talking, I always forget. And then we're gonna end up burning stuff. So let's give it 5 minutes. And then after 5 minutes, we'll check. So this is around 200 degrees Celsius. That's what we want, which is about, I don't know, 400, less than 400 Fahrenheit. Now, oil, about 1-2 tablespoons, something like that. Going in with the peppers, onion, pretty much everything is going in here. Bang, bang, all in there. Even chili, we'll chop a bit of chili in there. Let me actually taste, see how spicy it is. Well, this is not really spicy, so I guess we can add a bit more than I was expecting. Let me actually get to the seeds because those are the ones that are actually killing us. I've got Patricia, yeah, perfect. She bought salmon today. That sounds good. That sounds good. I really hope that you're gonna find some useful things in this recipe. So we're adding the chilies in there. They're not that hot. I always suggest taste them because sometimes, although they say that it says on the package hot chilies, or it doesn't say that are that hot. It's always good to taste and see how much you want to add, how much you can add till it burns your tongue. Okay, well done, Patricia. I hope that you're gonna find some useful things into this recipe. Perfect. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us today. Kim is still practicing his Romanian on my channel. I think I need to tax him just for that. But that's fine. That's fine. You go on, boy. Go on. Go on. Perfect. Very good. Very good. He comes up sometimes with some weird things because he's using Google Translate, but that's fine. That's okay. All right, we need to increase the heat here because I kept talking and then we don't have enough heat. We need to be on high heat really, so we need kind of like scorch these vegetables because it's not going to be a hell lot of cooking in there. To be honest with you, by the look of it, this sauce is going to go all in here. I thought that we're going to end up with some leftovers, but no chance. Everything is going to go in there. Oh. Okay, we still have 9 people here. I'm really, really grateful that you guys still here with me. Whether you're watching from Facebook or from YouTube, it's good seeing you around. Let me clean a bit this mess. I'm also gonna get a few chilies at the end, just kind of like finishing the dish with spring onion. So everything is gonna go. Think about the presentation as well, especially, well, if you make it for yourself, probably not that much, but it's still nice even if you make it for yourself. That respect for the food should still be in place. So I'm gonna chop some of the spring onion, but I'm only gonna try the top, which is basically the green part. So I'm gonna chop some of that. You could add some of this to the sauce. There are recipes that say that. That's fine. Whether you do it to the sauce or you do it in here, that's fine. Either way will do. So as you can see now, we're getting quite a bit of smoke because I want to get all these vegetables into a really good place. They get a nice color, and you can see, look here. I'm not sure if you can see, but nice. That's what we want. We want them. Oh boy. Um, we want to keep them nice and crunchy, but in the same time, we want to give them a bit of flavor. So by cooking them, the high temperature, you know, you just kind of like get the outside nicely cooked, but the rest kind of stays intact. When we're getting halfway through, which is literally in 20 seconds, we're gonna get back to the salmon, and it's then when we're gonna put the noodles, which they need about 3 minutes, I would say. 3 minutes or so, and after they're going straight in here. Yeah, bear in mind that the noodles in general, they don't need much cooking, so if it says 4 minutes on the package, okay, that's done. That's 5 minutes there. So we're getting these out. So you need to do a bit of like multitasking, but it'll be totally worth it. Now, back to the salmon. Just gonna add a few half tablespoon on each one and continue with the cooking. Perfect. It's going back into the oven. And after 5 minutes, let's put another 5 minutes timer. Don't forget about your vegetables, because I almost did. Now, let's get in so I got that the water is on that induction right here. So what I want to do now is add the noodles, which they're not going to need more than 3 minutes, I would say, 3-4 minutes max. But just make sure once you add the noodles, these vegetables are pretty much there. I'm going to bring the noodles here so you see what's going on. So these vegetables, still nice, crunchy. They obviously continue cooking. I stopped the heat or anything, but they will continue cooking because there's still heat in there. So what we want to do now, okay, I'm still not feeling 100%. I still have like a sore throat, so that's why you hear me probably coughing every here and there. But what I need now is tongs. Where are my tongs? Definitely has some tongs here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Perfect. Found the tongs. Price is there. This kind of continue cooking, and it's definitely off. It felt like it's not off, which is kind of weird. Nice multitasking. Yeah. Well, yeah, after working like 5 years in the kitchen, well, I stopped working now, but I got like the 5 years experience, so it's not really other option, especially when you have to do like multiple meals in the same time. Thank you, Andre. Nice to see you in the chat. Very nice to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing great. Okay, so both vegetables are done. That's definitely done. So make sure that you mix into this pasta. Otherwise, you're gonna get them more like clocked together, and it's not something that you want into your stir fry. Let's increase the heat because it seems like we are kind of like stopped with the heat here, which is not what I want. Now the salmon, once it gets another 5 minutes, which will be 10 altogether, I'm gonna take it out, remove it from the heat, and put it with the tray, set it on the side. It will continue cooking. That's something that you need to bear in mind. Whether you're cooking vegetables, meat, all that kind of stuff. If you don't stop that cooking process by dropping into cold water, icy water, if you don't do any of that, it will continue cooking. So you need to bear that in mind. So I would say that 10 minutes it should be enough. If you're not sure, check it with the probe thermometer and happy days. If you want it pink, obviously go slightly less. It all depends how you like it. Okay, this doesn't look bad. So I tell you what, they're almost actually done. You can tell that they're like really fragile, so you don't want to go crazy when you cook them, because we'll cook them more when it comes to, we'll cook them more here with the vegetables, and I don't want to continue cooking them to death. So now, putting this back on the heat, bring it to, and I I've got here the noodles. Let me show you what's going on. So the noodles are here. Not entirely cooked, but that's fine. I'm probably going to steam this camera, but that's absolutely okay. It's the side effect of cooking. It's nothing you can do. So the noodles are not cooked entirely, but as I said, once we add in the sauce, we'll continue kind of like tossing them into the pan. They will get to the point that are just perfect. Same with the pasta. If you remember, when I was making pasta, whether I was doing it live or whether I was doing it just as a recorded video, I always recommend take the pasta off the heat earlier than the time it says on the package, or basically just before it gets al dente, and cook it more into the sauce. So this goes in. Keep some of the water. We might need it. So in order to adjust the sauce, this is the best water that you can use. You don't want to add just tap water, although you can. That's just so much better. And my friends, these are definitely more than 2 portions in here, but that's absolutely fine. We've got more for tomorrow. I have no worry about that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me reduce the heat slightly, and I'm adding now. All this sauce goes on top. We might need some of that water, we'll see. That's fine, we'll just probably rinse that. Okay, continue kind of cooking. Obviously you don't want to get it dry, but in the same, oh, the salmon, that's the salmon, my friend. Let's get the salmon out. So turn off the oven. I'm sure that this will be fine. Put it here. Oh, that's definitely done. We could do it with even a bit less. Okay, so I want to rinse this with a bit of this water. The reason why I say keep this water is because it's got some starch in it. So that's it is benefiting you in a way that it's basically staying together. Instead of adding just like normal water, that's not going to do anything. It's going to get your sauce watery, but this is got an advantage because having that having that starch in it, it will get a better consistency of your sauce. Okay, so I feel like we're good here. Now, what we're doing, just make some space here. And if you have some coriander, which I don't, I highly recommend adding. It will work perfectly with what we've got here. Adding some coriander will just literally work really, really well. But since we don't have any coriander, that's fine. We'll just do whatever. We'll just use whatever we've got. And in this situation, I'm gonna add some spring onion and some chili, so it will do the job. Adding some coriander will be perfect. Not adding some coriander will be still fine because we don't have any. Some. Okay, straight in, nothing complicated. Just try to get some vegetables because they kind of tend to go at the bottom. So these will be nice and crunchy. Don't expect these to be fully cooked. I want them to be nice. I want them to be crunchy. So now the salmon. Let me show you what we've got here. So the salmon. I will remove. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to remove this part easily now. That's it. You see how nicely it's coming, and that's just the part, literally the belly, which with or without it, which you can get it. One sec, let me. Yeah, just put it in there. That's fine. It's home cooking. I'm not worried about that. So sesame seeds, chilies, spring onions. I'm not sure how much you can see, but this smells and even looks absolutely amazing. We've got quite a lot of colors in here. It's easy to make, and without my talking, and if you're even better prepared, I can guarantee that you can do it faster. Doing it into the oven helps a lot, and I really hope that you enjoyed this recipe. And if you did, whether you are on Facebook and or on YouTube, make sure to give this a thumbs up on the way out. And maybe share this with your friends. I would really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. this was Kitchen Draft for today. This was the last, well, not the last video. That was the Friday's video, which, yeah, we've done it together here. We had salmon, we have stir fry, we've got everything we need. We've got teriyaki. Have a nice Friday, have a nice weekend. I will see you in the next one.